Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's me, Demon Prince Powie. Hope you're all having a lovely day, evening, or whatever it is you're up to. Today's video is about the Rendmaster on the Blood Throne. It's about the synergies and other little things like that. So it's a review more than anything. So let's get into let's just get into it. I'm just going to go through a few things first. So obviously with the data slate update, there has been a new thing added. So I'm just going to go through that quickly now. You're probably already aware, but I will run through it because it will make sense during the video. So it's about abilities with the same name. Abilities with the same name, excluding aura abilities, can affect units multiple times, but if such an ability applies a name condition to a unit, for example suppressed, the condition can only affect the target unit at any given time. So with regards to the Rendmaster's Blood Throne ability, so at the start of the fight phase, select one enemy unit within 18 inches and visible to this model. Until the end of the phase, each time a friendly Khorne unit makes an attack that targets that unit, improve the strength, AP and damage characteristics of that attack by 1. So with the new update, that means they stack. So that means you could have 3 Rendmasters on the board, and they can all, as long as they're all within 18 inches, obviously, they can target the same target. And now you've got extra free strength, extra free AP, and an extra free damage on top. So we're just going to go through all the units to see and look at the synergies and where's best to use that. Obviously, he can use it on him. He can use it on himself as well, can't he? So, and he's nothing to sniff at. He's got quite good stat lines with his melee weapons, with the Blade of Blood and the Attendant's Hellblades. Excuse me. And also when he makes a melee attack against a character or monster unit, he can reroll the wound roll, which is nice, and then he regains D6 wounds when he destroys a unit, or a character or monster unit, I should say. So that's quite nice as well, isn't it? And obviously toughness 9 wounds with a standard 4-up save and a 4-up invuln. So if he does get cover, you're all right, aren't you? Okay, so we will go on to the. Let's go Skarbrand. We'll go with Skarbrand first. So obviously we all know Skarbrand is an absolute freight train, and he has strength 60 on his Slaughter and Carnage. We'll start with the strike. Let's. I need to calm it down. He has 8 attacks, obviously hitting on 2. Strength 16. Well, if 3 Renmar, it's not always going to happen. It's a super situation, but we'll do it at the max, right? So if 3 Rendmasters have targeted this unit and Skarbrand's there to wail in, all of a sudden he's strength 19, AP -7, with flat 9 damage, which is absolutely bonkers. I mean, he hits like a truck anyway, doesn't he? But flat 9 damage sounds extra tasty. And then obviously on his sweep, he has 16 attacks, hitting on 2s, which will go up to strength 11. Nice. So then you're looking at force to wound on toughness 11 targets, or freeze to wound on toughness 10 targets. So that's quite nice. And then it's -4 AP. So if it hasn't got an invuln, more likely has, you're pushing it to an invuln. But then it's flat 5 damage on his sweep. That's just insane. I think that's insane. Yeah, definitely one to do with Skarbrand there. Yeah, I like that. Just a flat 9 damage is nuts, isn't it? I've done this in the wrong order. Okay, we'll go with the Bloodletters. We'll go with how I've done it. I've messed up the order I was supposed to go through this, but we'll go with the Bloodletters next. Obviously, they've dropped in points, so I've been using them a bit more and been pairing them with the with the Rendmaster, and it's worked quite nicely. Don't get me wrong, things are getting shot off because their opponents are aware of it, but with the correct placement, it works. So obviously you can have, if you go in with a full 20-man Bloodletter squad, you could have 20 attacks, hitting on 3s. Again, if 3 Rendmasters, I know it sounds daft, right? Because you're probably not going to do that. You might have 1 or 2 on that target unit because you want it gone. 3 is a bit overkill, but I want to just show the potential that you could do. You know what I mean? So now you're at strength 8, minus 5 AP, 5 damage. Just nothing's getting saves, unless it has an invuln. You're just gonna chop through. You're dead. You're dead. You don't get a save. You're just dead. Bang, 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 bang. Bye. Even that there, 20 attacks against some Terminators are looking rather spicy. I don't know what the maths. I don't know what the maths is on that. I would love to work that out. I'm gonna work that out. I might work that out now. I'll put that in the video. Yeah, absolutely no. And the re-rolling wounds of 1, and it's just, that's brutal. That's what they do. That's what they do. They're gonna come in. They'll probably die afterwards. But it depends. Again, it's all about positioning, isn't it? All about positioning, which I'll go over after I've just run through these sheets. So obviously Blood Crushers are going to get it as well. You're going from strength on their Hellblades, they're going from strength 5 to strength 8 to minus 5 AP to 5 damage. Lovely. Then the extra attacks, if you've charged, are obviously this is if you're running like a 6-man. 4 attacks each. Again, lovely. Hitting on 4s, okay, fine. But now you're strength 9. Nice. Now you're minus 4 AP, 4 damage. That's nothing to sniff at. That's a lot. I think that's a lot of damage output. And then you got Lance, so you +1 to wound as well. So you potentially could be wounding on 2s. And against anything big, it's like wounding on 3s. So now all of a sudden you're looking very, 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 very tasty. And then also you've got their ability where you're doing mortal wounds on the charge. So what else can make that good? The Skullmaster can give you dev wounds. So yeah, you could just be doing absolutely relentless amounts of damage. Relentless amounts of damage there. It's a good little synergy, that. The Skullmaster and the Blood Crushers, dev wounds on the Juggernaut's Bladed Horn that are now doing 4 damage. Yeah, it's rather tasty. Rather tasty. Oh, it's not working. Flesh Hounds. Now again, these are more point scorers, aren't they, for Khorne Flesh Hounds? But we're going to touch on it anyway. So if you have 10 of them, you're going to have 30 attacks hitting on 3s. Then you go into strength 8. Then you go into AP minus 4. And then you go into 4 damage on these little dogs. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. I think even 1 Rendmaster on this is just nuts. Absolutely nuts. And then you're also, I've just forgot actually, then you've also got the stratagem that you can use for an extra AP. Things aren't getting saves and you're overkilling it. It's absolutely bonkers. Even 1 Rendmaster and the stratagem bumps it to minus 3 AP, 2 damage. So most things are going to get a 6-up save. It's just mad. Because you're going to target non-invuln stuff. But obviously if you're buff with the Rendmaster, you're probably going to go in on invuln stuff because there's enough damage there to take that unit out. Or take models off that unit. So, it's just so nice. Now here's... oh no, I didn't put it in. Oh god, hang on, I've missed something. Yeah, I've done it the wrong way around. So I just need to move that just so while I'm talking. That's why I don't like cutting too much, so I like to keep it raw. You know what I'm like, I like to waffle as well, but I'm trying to get you the right content, shall I say. Don't know if that's the right word. So the next one I'm going to look at is the Demon Prince with wings, not the walking Demon Prince. The Demon Prince with wings specifically. Obviously it'll be a Khorne Demon Prince. So when you do that, his strength of his Hellforged weapons goes up by 2. I think you know what I'm going to say next. we're also going to give it the Agraf, the King of Blades. So now he gets an extra attack and an extra strength on his melee weapons as well. But if he's in the shadow, he gets 2, which is nice. So let's go through that, right? So let's say he's not in the shadow, he's just regular, yeah. So he's going to have 7 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 11, minus 2 AP, 3 damage. Now with a Rendmaster, with 3 Rendmasters, it goes even higher. He'll go to minus 5 AP, 6 damage. Now all of a sudden, and then obviously you got his strengths rocketed up, because his strength's going to be what? It's 10, 11, 12, 13, strength 14. Strength 14, minus 5 AP, 6 damage. Now all of a sudden he's hitting like a thirster. But then you've got his Malefic Destruction, so he can add 3 attacks on top. So now instead of 7 attacks, it's 10 attacks. You see where I'm going with this? And then also his other ability, Harbinger of Death, you can give him lethal hits, precision, or sustained hits 1. Absolutely bonkers again. It's a mini Scarbrand, essentially, that can fly. Easier to hide as well. Yeah, I think that's mad. I think that's absolutely mad. Absolutely bonkers. Even 1 or 2 Rendmaster abilities for him to work off, he's cleaving through a big squad. I think it's slightly slept on. I do think it's slightly slept on. I do have the model over there. I need to get it on the table a bit more, especially now this is a thing, because for me, I think Rendmasters are definitely going in. They're going in. You have to be picking them. There's no way you can't be picking them. And then obviously we'll touch on his sweep. He has no AP on his sweep, so I would be inclined to use the stratagem to get that up anyway. But then again, it depends, because if you haven't, you could use your Malefic Destruction to get an extra 3 attacks there. So 40 is 17, and then you get the extra 1 for the blade. 18 attacks, hitting on 2s. Strength 8. 9, 10. No, 9 because of the extra 1 from the Agraf King of Blades. So he's strength 9. And then any Rendmasters will go 10, 11, 12. Up to a maximum of 12. Up to a maximum of 4 AP, remembering the stratagem, and then it's flat 4 damage. I'd be inclined to use that on your like 4 wound models like Terminators and stuff, because there's no way out of what did I just say, 14, 17, 18 attacks. 18 attacks, you reckon that unit's surviving? Pfft, no, gone. I think that chews through, that nearly clears 10 Scarab Occult Terminators, I reckon. Potentially. Because you're hitting on 2s. And then you're going to be wounding on 2s, but they have a -1 to wound, I think, so you'll be wounding on 3s. And then they'll save half. So, not 9, about 7. I think it was 7. Maybe 6. So maybe half a squad if there's a squad of 10, but there's not normally a squad of 10. So yeah, I think you absolutely cleave through the Scarab Occult Terminators. So yeah, he's definitely good to pair up with the Rendmaster. They all are really, aren't they? But he's one that's like a walking nuclear tank. A mini Scarbrand.
And next we have the Bloodthirster. So we'll look at the Great Axe, the big boy Great Axe. So it'll be 7 attacks, hitting on 2s. And it could go to strength 19, AP -7, which I mean you're not really going to need. But the key thing here is it'll be D6 plus 5 if he's buffed with the Rendmaster. Insane amount of damage, D6 plus 5. Personally, I only think you'd need 1 buff for him. But the more important thing for him, I think, is the Great Axe sweep. That's where I think you're going to get the benefits, because the strength will go up from 10 to maybe 11 or 12. The AP goes to -4, and then it's 4 damage. So you're putting out good, solid damage with the Bloodthirster. Pretty similar to Scarbrand, only if you roll well on the d6 plus 2 again on the strike, you'll be doing what's d6 plus 5, a flat 11. It'll be 11 damage if you roll really, really well. You normally roll 3s or 4s, so what's that, 9 and 8 damage, so you'll be cleaving through all sorts. And then obviously if you give him the King of Blades, it'll be even more attacks for more potential damage output, so it's absolutely brutal and lethal. I prefer Scarbrand myself. I like the flat damage. The rolling the dice is very swingy. But obviously the Relentless Carnage ability is mortal wounds at the end of the fight phase, which is also nice. And it's, yeah, well, my 2 of these in Scarborough and around my Rendmaster's buffing is just nuts, absolutely nuts, and I love it, and I am here for it 100%.
And then lastly, Skulltaker, who's solid anyway for 85 points, but he also benefits, doesn't he? So he'll have 6 attacks hitting on 2s, and you're going to be putting him into character units, so he's re-rolling everything. Again, if he's maxed buffed out, he's now strength 9. It's just brutal, isn't it? Minus 5 AP. More than likely, most characters have an invuln, but then it's 6 damage again. It's just absolutely bonkers. It is so good. It is so good. Yeah, you've got to be putting these guys in your lists, especially now the points have dropped and they've benefited Khorne and Nurgle. More Khorne is going to be used, and obviously more Nurgle is going to be used. But you've got to get that synergy off, because don't forget, Scarbrand gives buffs. He gives extra attacks, so you could get Scarbrand in to deal with something. Drop your Rendmasters in, and the dogs go in, and now the dogs have got 4 attacks each. It's wild, absolutely wild. That's what you need to be doing, trying to pick a section of the board and just annihilate that section of the board. The only problem with them is, I know they're toughness 9 and 9 wounds. I'm going to put it back onto their data sheet, so I've got it there. And they're 9 wounds, right? And the OC3, which is pretty cool, is if you've got 3 of them, I recommend starting them off the board, because otherwise they'll get shot at. They will get shot at. And I mean, I had a game in against Necrons. The battle report video is up if you do want to have a look. It didn't survive a turn. I tried to hide it. He managed to get sight with his Locust Heavy Destroyer, and I think the Death Marks, his cruddy little Death Marks did some damage on it, and it went in the end. It might have been the Nights after finished it off. I can't remember now, but it didn't do anything. I didn't have a chance to go, yeah, right, do it. I put 1 in reserves that come in, and that helped with the buffs. So after that, I was like, if you're taking 3, maybe start 1 off for first turn, potentially, if you get any potential first turn charges. If not, put them in reserve. I mean, even for 2, 300 points for 2, it's good buffing. Even if you're only buffing things by 1, it's solid. It's extra AP, and it helps, and extra damage as well. It just helps. I like to try the 2 to try and stack it up to make sure things are dead. But yeah, it's very, 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 very solid tactic. But I'd be putting them in reserves and getting them 19 inches away. Try and get your shadow up, because even if you just set a screened area where your stuff's gone forward, they can sit in behind and just do what they need to do. As long as they have visibility, they can just go, yeah, I can see that, there you go. You got an extra -2 or -3, depending if you're dropping 3. For me, depending on what you're going up against, I'd maybe pick a flank and the center, or spread them left, middle, and right, potentially. It all depends what you're going up against, doesn't it? But yeah, absolutely solid. And for the rate it or hate it, obviously I rate it. It's absolutely solid for 150 points. That's why I didn't drop down, because this the ability stackings come in, and they're going to be a staple in your army. They are. I implore you to start using them. Start coming away from using so many monsters. You don't need so many monsters anymore. I don't think you need them anymore. Obviously, we need to see how everything unfolds with other armies and other abilities as we go forward. But from a Khorne perspective, I think we're in a good place at the moment. Obviously, Be'lakor is still going to be getting picked to just restrict that shooting for up to 18, from over 18 inches away, which is obviously nice. But we want to be in your face as quickly as possible. We don't want to be sitting back and then get bang. I'd rather be right there, getting rid of something turn one, and then coming in around the back. But it is what it is. What do you think of the Rendmaster? Is he going into your lists? He should be. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later.